The most recent podcast with Pat Flynn revolved around the importance of community. This is a very interesting topic that our society seems to struggle with. Well, yeah. My wife and I are entering our third and final year in our new state, and we are looking to move out west to another state. My question is, how does one build that community when they have moved away from friends and family? Well, Alex, I can only tell you my experience. It's an interesting one. When Tiff and I moved to San Francisco, that was tough, man. My daughter graduated from. I had a daughter graduate from junior college, a daughter graduate from high school. We had to leave our children's home and sell it, and then uproot in a 8-day period, drive to California. Tiff and I famously had no music on, and because we had to drive, there was no music on. We drove for 4 hours before either one of us spoke. That's when you know you've been under pressure. We drove for 4 hours across the desert before one of us said, well, now what, been there. Within about 6 months of being in California, I invited our friends over and family members over to have a practice Thanksgiving, and it was so much fun. We did it in our apartment complex had this gathering room, and 75 people showed up. And my brother Gary, who's always in my stories, said to me, "You've been here 6 months and you have more friends than I do." And he asked me why. Well, I didn't have the heart to say what I really wanted to say to Gary about him. But you can imagine what I was thinking. And then I thought about it. I go, well, how do I do it? Well, I think because I take community very seriously, Alex. If you go on to our site here, you have a thing called the Coyote Point Kettlebell Club. I hold those weekly workouts were very important to me. I met, if I could say, dozens of people, and with one exception, everybody was delightful. And it's interesting, the one exception was a kettlebell expert from San Francisco who claimed to have learned nothing in a 1-hour workout with people from all walks of life. I found that fascinating, how you could actually be with a master kettlebell instructor, several other kettlebell instructors, firefighters, Vietnam veterans, and gymnasts, and not learn a single thing. I don't think that reflected on us. The other way, of course, is through the natural communal ways. Sports, becoming a sports fan is huge. I meet a lot of people at sporting events. Of course, if you have a denomination, going to church is huge. The other thing, and I think this is really underappreciated, is raise your hand and volunteer. So when I moved to Burlingame, for example, one of the first things I did, I was working out one day and I saw this whole group of shot putters over there training. I walked over, and as I walked over, the coach said, "Oh my God, it's Dan John." Now, listen, you probably won't have that happen to you because your name is Alex. But it turned out that there was also a famous kettlebell gym in Burlingame, and I went and trained at the park with them. There was also another famous group of kettlebellers over in Half Moon Bay, and I went and trained with them. And then there was a gym opening just south of me that I went and visited. So, Alex, it reminds me of what I learned from Earl Nightingale back in 1985. This husband and wife from Minnesota moved down to Florida, and they enjoyed it very much. And after about 3 months, they put a for sale. The husband enjoyed it. They put a for sale sign up in the door, and someone else came by and said to the husband, he goes, "I thought you loved it here." He goes, "I do." "Well, why are you moving?" He goes, "My wife can't stand it." "Why?" "She has no friends." And the other guy said, "Why doesn't she have any friends?" "I don't know. She's been sitting in her house waiting for people to come by." I've always taken that as a real insight, about friends. On Monday night here, we're going to have, Alex, we call it Christmas Ad, and I've mentioned it before here. In fact, by the time this posts, it'll be already happened. But we invent parties for people to come by, and we just keep our arms open and invite people in. And generally, that's how you make the world a better place. So the thing is, if you sit in your house and you wait for friends to come by, it's not going to happen. It's up to you, Alex. You got to go out and you got to make the world a better place.